So, yeah.
Okay, so let's jump in then. Are we live now?
Yep, you should see it.
Did we just go live?
It shows live.
Okay, so I'll just explain what we're doing real quick for the TA or whoever's watching this. So we're just going to do the individual part right now as a part of the group video. And then we'll discuss it a little bit, and then we'll move into the group questions. We just have to do it as one video because otherwise we can't see each other's video posts. Anybody want to start?
Go for it.
Okay. So the first individual question asks what sets DropBox apart from the rivals. And I think what it is it's kind of an all-in-one service that's extremely simple to use. They don't have too many fancy features that complicate it. They don't, like I was saying, they don't have as big a feature portfolio as other services, but what they do have is they have something simple that works for just the standard user. And I think that's what sets them apart. It does kind of a bit of everything, but it does it very simply. And that's the problem that DropBox solves. The problem is you work on one computer and then you don't have what you need on another computer. So if you're going in between home, the office, or school, you don't have all of the files you need. And so it asks who has this problem. I think basically anybody who works on more than one computer has this problem. And if we're talking about the backup aspect of DropBox, that's another problem that just anybody who uses the computer and doesn't want to lose their files has. And then it asks what DropBox does. Basically, just like I said, it allows users to easily share files with themselves and other people between different computers. They can back it up online, so they always have access to it. It asks what early hypotheses turned out to be wrong. So there were a couple of them. First of all, his pricing structure in the beginning wasn't accurate to what it ended up being. I think that's just because he was making early predictions. He hadn't thought about it perhaps as much as he should have, but in his proposal to YC, his pricing estimates were off from what they ended up being. He also said that they weren't going to invest a lot into marketing. He said maybe some AdWords. Well, it turned out that they did do that, and it turned out to be a bad thing for them. I think they didn't see a lot of results from that. And so pivoting, I guess pivoting means to be able to see an issue and then go somewhere from, to be able to change your direction, change your course, even change what you do if you have to in order to survive and get through that issue. It's a lot of questions for 5 minutes.
Yeah,
We'll probably all have the same response to them.
I think we just discuss them instead.
Yeah, I think so. I think we could just discuss them instead of each saying the exact same thing 3 different.
Yeah, because I think you hit them all right on the head. I mean, especially when it came to how they set apart from their rivals. The rivals, the way that they organized their systems wasn't as easily as DropBox, and they didn't have all this overhead. They worked with Amazon to take care of the servicing and the servers, which allowed them to have a little bit more streamlined. And then their goal was to make it part of a computer. So it wasn't like you had to go to a website, you had to organize this thing and get it there. You could just make it part of your computer, and you could easily drag it to your file folder and access the files, and then share with another computer. And if you wanted to share links, I mean, to me, the biggest thing that set them apart was ease of use. They wanted to make it so it was just as easy as using a regular part of your computer instead of being an actual add-on, which I thought was really pretty cool.
Right.
Yeah, I thought what was neat too was, I mean, that the co-founder was upset that he left his jump drive in at home, and so I got to fix this issue. And so I mean, he knew that there was an issue, and he set out for a way to plan on fixing it. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Totally. What do you think about early hypotheses that turned out to be wrong? Because I mean, he kind of has that whole report or that whole proposal he did to Y Combinator.
Well, and
Did you
he
see anything? I know there's some things that I missed. Did you see anything in there that maybe he estimated incorrectly that turned out to be different later on?
really confident that he could make a model and a program that he'd be able to put out real quick. I think he said 8 weeks he'd have it out. So I think he thought that he had this model that was going to be awesome and ready to go real quick. But once he started doing a little more testing and whatnot, he realized that there's a little more to it than met the eye, and took him a lot longer than anticipated. So,
and especially as a late entrant, you know, you think that, you know, they probably got lucky that wasn't more detrimental to him, because he thought 8 weeks and it turned out to be 18 weeks, and they were already coming in late. They're lucky that something didn't come in before.
Yeah, it was 18. I'm pretty sure it was 18 months.
Oh, did I say weeks? I meant months. It was 8 weeks to 18 months is what it actually is.
Yeah, I mean, so that's basically added a year and 4 months to it, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, another thing that an early hypothesis that turned out to be wrong was, you know, the amount that they, the cost of acquiring new customers was more than what it was to buy 100 gigabytes from them.
Right.
I mean, that was another way that they
were anticipating $100 fee to get them. So.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, well, let's move on to the group questions then, unless you guys have anything else.
I just agree that, you know, they had to make a pivot change, you know, when they got away from that organized marketing and really just kind of focused on finding ways to make word of mouth and user transferring over to paid to make really work for them. They really found that to be the most success.
Totally. And I think they have another pivot point coming up on them, but I guess we'll talk about that in just a little bit. How did your guys' quantitative analysis go? Your spreadsheets and everything.
I was not able to really get it to work.
Sorry, I didn't understand you.
I said mine didn't really work the way I wanted to. I don't know if I'm doing something wrong or what, but.
All right. No worries. So
I finally understand the way they do this and whatnot.
You cut out a little for me, but I think I got the gist of what you were saying.
This might have a crappy connection. I find this part of it a little bit more.
Sorry, I'm missing what you're saying. I have you guys coming out.
Hold on, give me a second. Let me close.
Cutting in and out on me for me.
Give me 1 second. Shut some stuff down.
Totally. It's hard not to have a ton of tabs open when you're doing this kind of thing.
Yeah, and I have another computer system.
So, from what I understood, they were estimated to have a 10 million to 15 million annual revenue, which is annualized because this was in June that they were predicting this, but they were predicting that for the year they would have 10 to 15 million in revenues. And so that's what I used to kind of start my calculations. The number of subscribers they had was 6.8 million, because in April they had 4 million, and then those 4 million referred 2.8 million, which brings it to the 6.8 million. So those were kind of my base figures, 6.8 million subscribers. They estimated that 2 to 3% of those subscribers were actually paying subscribers. So for my model, I just stuck it right in the middle at 2.5%, which gives you 170,000 paying subscribers. Let me see, can I share my screen with you guys? Is that possible?
Yep.
What do I need to do here?
Hit the screen share button on the left-hand side.
Entire screen.
Up to the top left is a green screen share button.
Okay, I think I've got it. Let me know if you see that.
Screen.
Do you guys see it?
Yep.
Okay. So anyways, 6.8 million subscribers, estimated 2.5% that are paying, which gives you 170,000 paying subscribers. This 74 comes from the estimate of how much they're making per year. Anyway, so my calculation is that they get 12.5 million in annual revenues. Anyway, so then you have 11 cents per month to support a free subscriber. And then 6.6 million, 6.63 million free subscribers. That gives you annual cost of 8.7 million. That's just simple multiplication between these two figures here. Anyways, same idea with the paying subscribers. They're more expensive at $3.18 on average to support a paying subscriber, which gives you an annual cost of 6.48 more or less $1 million to support them. So obviously, you've got variable costs that are significantly higher than your revenues, according to my calculations, anyways. And that's before you even get into the fixed costs. We were given it $150,000 per employee. They have 25 employees. It said just a couple paragraphs before the cost structure breakdown. Anyways, and then these figures are just kind of based on figures from Carbonite's spreadsheet. I put a lot less in sales and marketing just because they ended up doing less sales and marketing after the whole debacle of spending so much. Anyways, so I guess long story short, according to my calculations, they're probably going to lose about $12 million in 2010. Now, that sounds bad and it sounds tough, and I think they do need to pivot here in the future, but at the same time, the market is growing, and they're growing rapidly, very rapidly. I mean, in a month, they added 2.8 million subscribers. So if they can keep doing that, I think they can be profitable in 2011. But as for right now, as of June, I don't think they're profitable.
Dang, that's pretty good.
Sorry to hit you with all that at once.
We've done this before.
What's that?
We've done this.
Oh, yeah, many times, I guess. It seemed kind of crazy that they were losing that much, though, so I had to go back and check all the figures because I didn't know if that was going to be right, but, you know, going through it several times and looking at those numbers, making sure everything was annualized correctly. I think that's right. I think as of June, they're estimated to lose $12 million in the year. But Carbonite was losing $14 million, so that's not, you know, completely insane for the industry right now.
Sorry, that was me.
What's going on there?
I don't know. I'm gonna mute mine.
For real. Hey, can you guys hear me? I'm getting tons of weird feedback.
Yeah, I can. Tony, you're kind of cutting in and out. Justin, I don't know what happened to him.
I just got like some crazy movie sound effects for a good 30 seconds there. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Can now?
Yeah, that got a little weird. I just shut my mic off to see if it was me, but it's getting a little crazy. So
Weird. It's good now though.
cool.
So I guess that kind of leads us into question 3, whether or not the fact that they're losing money or predicted to be losing that much money as of June 2010, if that's a problem. What do you guys think?
Well, honestly, I don't know very many startups that don't lose money off the bat and have to pull out credit to keep things going. So, I mean, they are losing some, but they're still bringing in quite a bit, and they're still just barely hitting the market of what they're trying to do. But their growth has been pretty phenomenal in the beginning. So, I
think you're right.
I think that they've got quite a bit of potential.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think they just got another round of venture capitalism funding or whatever.
Yeah.
I think they said they got, what, 1.6 million or something like that, if I remember right.
Let me see.
I don't know the figure.
Yeah.
But they have generated a lot of investment. So they've got money coming in as far as investments go. Another thing to look at is the fact that the cost of storage is
it's plummeting.
It's predicted to decline. Yeah, it's going to be less than a third of what it is now within 4 years.
Yeah.
Which is the major cost of DropBox's model.
Yeah, which I find to be, is it just, you think it's just because technology is getting better, or just because?
I think so, man. I mean, I remember when I was a kid, I had a 256 megabyte thumb drive that cost about $20.
Yeah, I remember.
That's insane. And so, yeah, I think just the fact that storage costs are declining, and I'm sure that goes into servers as well. It's just getting cheaper.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I remember when I went on my mission, that's what I bought, was a 256 megabyte SD
No way.
camera.
I was like 10 years old, 12 years old. Just carbon date you a little bit there.
I remember the old floppies. So 6.5 inches.
Oh man, that's nuts. Crazy.
So, yeah, and that's the thing. And I mean, it said that in the case study that, I mean, they, as things got more and more, as technology advanced, the price of cloud storage dropped.
Yeah.
I mean, dropped substantially. I'm trying to find the numbers.
Yeah, that's one that was. So, yeah, because what Tony was saying is, it's $5.35 in 2005, and they predicted it to get down to 36 cents by 2014. So in 9 years, it dropped basically $4.99.
Yeah.
So
that's crazy.
Yeah, it really is.
So I mean, honestly, it's like with numbers like that, it just goes to show that they have a really strong likelihood to be successful if they can keep. And that's why I think their business model of just make it work, or whatever there is that they say, is what's going to make them so successful, because they just make it work.
Right. Now, if you look at the flip side, though, and try to see how that could be a problem, well, losing $12 million a year never looks good. That's for sure. And maybe a big problem is the fact that there's other entrants in the market, and one of the big ones that they need to be watching out for is Google.
Yeah.
Google's working on the drive. They know it's coming eventually, and if you're at a negative 12 million on your P&L, that's not when you want Google to enter the market. So, they want to gain some traction before Google comes in and have more than just 2 to 3% of their users being paid users. So I guess that's the big threat is if they have somebody come in with a big name and a big product and they're at a $12 million loss, I think that could be an issue.
Yeah.
It's a very true statement.
Yeah, that's why they need to pivot right now to, to attract to paying customers.
Right. So what do you guys think? Do you think that they should create a professional version?
I absolutely do. I think, one of the big companies that comes to mind is Photoshop. You've got versions that you can buy for, the full-time photographers, but there's also free versions of the people that are just trying to learn. And the free versions are what gives you the desire to want to buy the actual version, because you can do more as you learn more. So
Yep.
No, I think that's right. I definitely think they need to create another version. And I guess the hesitation there is that their product has always been one product that's for everybody, and it just works. And that's what they've built their brand on. And so I could, looking at it from the other side, even though I'm with you and I think that they should create a professional version, the other side, I guess, would say, you know what? This is what's got them this far. This is why they have 6.8 million users, is because it's just so simple and intuitive. But at the same time, you have all of these people who are coming in with suggestions. They want to see changes. And these are changes that could complicate the experience, the user's experience, and it could clutter it. So that's why I think that they should develop a professional version, is because if they do that, then they can cater to the people who are actually going to pay them more, the people who are higher demanding customers. And they can kind of handle that. They're not being, overserved too much. And then you still have a version that's much more simple for those lower end customers that, I guess, the customers with lower requirements. So, because I just think that if they try to cater to the businesses a little more in the standard version, they are going to lose a lot of those people who just need it to be a very simple way of doing things.
Yeah, I agree. But one thing I was wondering is they didn't really say, it's not that I saw, maybe I missed it, out of that 2 to 3% of paid users, how many of them were business oriented and how many were just regular customers? And I guess part of me kind of wonders, what more would a business really want to use it for? If you offer these extra bells and whistles for an added premium, could it actually deter them because they liked the simplicity of it, but now they're paying more for the same product, even though they didn't want all this extra stuff? So that was kind of my, I wasn't quite sure which way to lean, because I think a lot, like you're right, like Photoshop especially, and Adobe and Microsoft Word and things like that, they offer professional things now. But for a normal person, I think he even says, most people use Microsoft Word the same exact as business as the same exact at home. And so I guess my question was, if they added these extra things, would it really be profitable for them to put the time and money into it? Or would they still just use the basic settings of, hey, I can share this, my team can work on it at the same time, and we can put it from every computer that we want? So that was kind of my hesitation to say, yeah, go pro. Instead, because I guess I was more thinking, make it more enticing, is make a better package for pros that would encourage them to be more willing to buy instead of having their little teams using a bunch of free accounts.
Right. You mean so like a kind of a discounted package for a lot more storage space versus a package with a ton of features?
Right. So they talk about small businesses, medium businesses. I think, small business, hey, you got 5 to 10 employees, we'll give you this package. You got 2,000 to 3,000 employees, we'll give you a great package with all this storage, easily can communicate between your whole company. So I don't know. It's just, I don't know. I think their keep it simple mentality is kind of what's really helped them get to where they are.
Right. No, I totally get that point of view. I guess my question would be, do you think that there are high-end users that maybe aren't just businesses, but these people who are on there voting for more complex features, do you think that, one, if they're not a paying customer, that they would convert to a paying customer to get those features, or two, if they are a paying customer, if they would pay even a little more to get those features and start using Dropbox more.
My biggest question would be, what kind of features would they be needing?
Let me go into one of the exhibits. Have some of the things that they were voting on. 1 second.
Well, I mean, for example, here I use an app called Genius Scan, and it's what it does is it allows you to take pictures on your phone and export them to PDF file. So
Right.
you can email them to yourself, and that's about the only thing you can do in the free version.
Okay.
But if you're willing to pay a little bit more, you can have it. Like for me, I see lots of realtors using this app. I mean, with signed documents,
Right.
they can encrypt them a little bit, and where you have to have a password to be able to open it. I mean, just little features like that is what I think they could start charging for. If you wanted to fax it with this app, you could do it. Or Dropbox is even on this app, or Google Drive, OneNote, all these things are there, but the only thing you can do free is email. So I mean, I could see Dropbox using this, where you could link one computer free.
Yeah.
I mean,
but after you email yourself that, can you download it on the computer you email it to?
Absolutely, yep.
So even then, if you just email it to yourself and then put it in your Dropbox right away.
Correct, you could do that, but that's just an added step.
Right. But I guess to me, like adding a scanning feature is no longer just a Dropbox. Now you're getting into a lot more other characteristics of a program. And I don't know, it's just like you use that one program, but how many other programs like that scanning app are out there? And how much of their resources have to go into staying competitive in their scanning app so they would work with their Dropbox app, when they could just kind of work with a scanning app company and just say, hey, you put our Dropbox in your app, so that not only can you email it, but hey, let them do a free Dropbox as well, and then you can work with that company to time into Dropbox. So I don't know, I just look at how much, like right now they're storage based, and that's what they are. And so you could add all these different add-ons, I guess you could say. But then every time you add something new, that's basically a whole new little business you add to your company.
Well, absolutely, but they have to add that because I mean their business model right now is not working.
Right. Well, it seems, yeah, but I guess in my mind, I'm thinking the pro always kind of correlates with businesses, and so I guess kind of what I was thinking more. But you're right, with the realtor thing, that would be better. But I was thinking, like, well, for where we work, we have scanners all over the place, and so I guess for business, it's just I personally wasn't thinking that it would tie to, but I guess realtors and other companies, it would be pretty attractive to them. So I can see what you're saying.
Yeah, I think small companies, 5 or 10 people, people that can't afford it,
True. A big server system,
printer and scanner, fax all in one.
Yeah, I can understand that.
I think this is a really good argument. The fact that what features are you going to put on there, and is that going to change Dropbox? I guess an insight that comes from the case is it talks about the backup review website that ranks all of these different storage companies, and it ranks them in the consumer segment, small, medium business segment, and then the enterprise segment. And Dropbox ranks 6th in the consumer segment, but it wasn't even mentioned as a top 25 provider in either the SMB, so the small, medium business, or the enterprise segments. So I guess right now, they've got a long ways to go if they're going to cater to businesses. And so I can see it from both sides. Like you were saying, is that going to change Dropbox? Is that going to be a whole nother business you're running all of a sudden? And I guess my argument is similar to that. What was said was their model right now. I don't think it's completely broken, because I think there's room for growth. But I think that they are at a pivoting point where if they did do this and they offered businesses these options that could maybe get them ranking with these other backup programs and backup services, but they'd be able to, they'd be able to make a lot of revenue from those businesses, aside from what they're making from just the normal consumer. And because it's split and because it's two different things, Dropbox and Dropbox Professional, I think they still maintain their brand as a simple, easy solution to the normal consumer, but then at the professional side, they can also create a new brand and a new strategy of catering to those businesses and being more powerful than, just what the normal consumer needs.
Yeah, but if they are aiming towards that small business, I guess I see it kind of hard to really tackle a small business segment. So it's so diverse with the way Dropbox would have to change to try to cater to so many businesses. Like faxing was the one option. Well, maybe a lot of people just don't deal with that option. So they say, hey, let's run with this mobile faxing option. But, a lot of these new age companies, like, we don't fax anything. I just send it in a picture or something, something like that, of that nature.
Right.
I just, they can dilute their simple method and add all these things that could potentially cause more loss because they're trying so hard to appease so many different needs that they end up not appeasing anyone. So, and then you look at like the operating costs of what's the company? I can't remember. Carbonite, and they're running at 20 million deficit. So it's like, I don't know. It's really an interesting company.
Yeah, for sure.
Because it's so hard to know, what's going to happen. And I guess that's why they pick these types of scenarios. But I don't know. I just really, really like their very simple way. And yeah, they are currently losing money, but I feel like their growth pattern has a really strong opportunity to make that transition from free to paying when people start using it more. It's like I have a Google Drive account and I was using the free, and I had to upgrade to a bigger account because I had so much stuff that was going on to it. And I wanted to keep those same benefits. So I could see, at this time, they're giving 2 gigabytes, which, in 2009, 2010, that was quite a bit. But, as future might go on, there might be other things that we use in our daily lives that need a lot more storage than 2 gigs. So the transfer rate from free to buying could really start to make huge jumps as people start to use them more and as a more of a staple, and their need for more storage would easily jump to where they'd have to say, hey, I've got to pay the $5 a month now to get more storage.
Man, that's very true as well. I mean, 2 gigs now is not a lot.
Yeah. I mean, that's one video. That's one movie that you pirated off the internet. So I don't know. I guess, looking at the way the future could change in storage and this new option of such ease, I just wonder if they did stay their course, if they would, if they toughed it out. I mean, I guess if they waited a couple of quarters and saw how it went, but I don't know, it's a roulette almost, because you're banking on the market, you're banking on technology, you're banking on how much people are going to start using cloud storage. So it's it's a huge gamble.
Yeah, it's definitely not just black and white here.
No, not at all.
Okay. Well, do you guys want to do a summary portion here?
Yeah, let's see if we get on an answer. And I think we did. Yeah, I think we'll be good.
Okay.
Where are we at?
So I guess, are you taking a timestamp right now?
No, I can't. I'll have to go back through and watch the video.
Oh, no worries then. I guess I'll try to organize my thoughts first then. So my hypothesis and my position is that Dropbox should pivot and they should develop a professional version to attract more valuable customers. And I think that because right now they're at a big loss according to calculations. I don't think that's altogether telling of the situation, because I think there is a lot of opportunity for growth, and it looks like they're going to grow a lot. But at the same time, I think that they have a lot they can offer businesses and just high-end users that want to see more features. And I think if they deny those customers and those potential customers those features, that they're going to start losing them to other services. But if they start implementing some of those features and they do it all in one platform of just under the name of Dropbox, I think that's going to drive away a lot of the people that have come for the simplicity of the program. So I guess I would say that you keep normal Dropbox and you benefit from the more simple user that loves the simplicity of the program and the platform. And then you create a separate professional Dropbox for the high-end users who want to see more features, who are also probably the more profitable customers, businesses as well, who want to see features that are tailored to them, so that they're competing with those businesses those programs that are appearing on the backup review list for the small businesses and the enterprise segments. That's my position.
All right, I'll go ahead. So I guess my kind of position is, I think they should have some type of a business orientation with their product, but seeing how their word of mouth helped them grow so dramatically in the very beginning, and things continue to grow in that manner, I think that for me personally, I think that they would be more beneficial to offer more of a business professional package that would just be more enticing to get those business professionals to upgrade to a package that would be a paying package instead of these free packages. I think that I feel like they have a pretty good income source through individual use. And I think that right now in the stages, it's so early to know whether or not the businesses are going to be their high income earners or the individual users will be their high income users. I think technology has a real chance to make a huge leap at this time during their launch, and that leap could really bring a lot of personal users to their business. I think businesses have a very good need for this product, and right now I would feel that they should continue the course of a simple product that fits the needs of the businesses, and to continue to use their DropBox system to continue to get feedback. And as that goes on, and maybe a little bit, maybe a year or two or more passes on, then maybe to come back to this topic of whether or not they should really offer a more defined professional package that would suit the needs of these businesses or professional users based upon the actual needs and wants of the users as they have entered their wants and needs into their voting system. I think that way they could continue to grow their word of mouth system and get the revenue that they need. And the investors are finding profitability in their company. I think they'll continue to do so as they continue on the track that they have set up currently. That's my opinion.
Okay. For me, I think that they need to switch up a little bit of what they're doing. They need to try to appease, or continue what they're doing to get the word of mouth out, that they can so that they can continue to grow their business. But I also think they need to start charging for more. I think you allow customers the 2 gigabytes free, but you also allow them to only hook it up between 2 machines or something like that. Start charging if they use more than multiple machines, and then you can upgrade the packages like that, and upgrade packages further based on customers and quantities, and quantities of gigabytes and terabytes of storage space, as well as machines being shared. I think they need to I like the vote box that they're getting all the feedback from, and I think they need to continue doing that as well. And that'll be all.
Awesome.
Okay.
All right, guys.
I like this one. It was pretty fun. I guess we had a little bit different decisions this time, so it's kind of more interesting.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Well.
All right, I'll email this link to you guys again. So hopefully Hopefully
That's
next
awesome.
week or by the next meeting we can all be in the same group. So
Okay. Has anyone emailed him with our group info?
No, I'll go ahead and do that. I have the tab open.
Okay, awesome. Thanks, Tony.
all
Yep.
right, thanks guys.
Thanks, guys.
Okay,
Appreciate
so
it.
we're back Saturday, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Round 2.
Okay.
all
Okay,
right,
guys. We'll see ya.
Have a good night. See ya.
bye.